Hey everybody, we're going to talk about dilations. Dilations is the last of the transformations that we have. When you create a dilation, you're going to create a shape of the same shape, but it's going to be a different size. A couple things you need are you need a shape. And for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a segment, and we'll dilate a segment. So I need to go to points and lines, and go down to number 5, which is a segment, and I'm just going to draw a segment. So there's my segment. I also need a point. So I'm going to go to 4 and then 1 in the menu, and I'm going to draw a point right here. Oh, didn't draw. Menu, 4, 1, point. Here's a point. I put the point, move over, got a point, get out of there. Now, what I'm going to do is, I think I drew the segment too big. Sometimes when you're doing dilations and you draw shapes that are too big, it becomes a little bit more difficult. But we can move things around, and this is what you need. Now, a couple things. This is the shape. There are no angles with this, but if we had a triangle, I'm going to do a triangle for you in a second after we get done with this. But this is the shape that we're going to dilate. We're going to make it bigger, we're going to make it smaller. But it's going to be a segment. It's going to be exactly the same as this segment. This is what we call, the point right here is called the center of dilation. So this is where everything happens from. So you need to have a center of dilation. So when you want to create the transformation itself, the calculator will do it for you, which is nice. And go up to the box in the upper left. Dilation says click the object. The object is the segment. Then the dilation center. The center is the point. And then we get, or you can type in the coordinates if we're in a coordinate plane, but we're not. Then we're going to type in a value, the dilation value. That's called the scale factor. How much bigger or how much smaller do we want to make this segment? Do we want to make it 2 times as big, 3 times as big, half as big? So I'm going to make this twice as big. So you have to click on the segment, click on the center, and then I'm going to go out to here, and I'm going to type in the number 2 just off the keypad and hit enter, and now I have a brand new segment that they're parallel to each other. They look the same, except for one looks to be longer than the other one. So I'm going to escape out of this. This number here, 2, is what we call the scale factor. And in this case, the scale factor was equal to 2. Now, a couple things that you can look at. I'm going to draw a bunch of segments now. So, points and lines 4, and I need my segment tool, which is 5. If I go from this point to the first endpoint, that's 1 segment. If I go from this point to this point, that's 1 segment. I'm going to go from the center of dilation again, and I'm going to draw the segment all the way up to the dilated segment, the image, and I'm going to go from the center of dilation to the other endpoint of the image. And so now I have different segments. I drew segments here, 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 all of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure them. And at 6, measure, I'm going to measure lengths. Alright, the original segment was 8.6 centimeters. The new segment was 17.2 centimeters. The long segment from the center of dilation to the image is 12.5 centimeters. I'm not able to, for some reason, I'm not able to get that on. This one is 13.8 centimeters. Alright, so that's okay. We don't have to worry about this part. Now here's the idea and what we get from this. The parts are proportional. Which means if I take the new length, 17.2, and divide it, create the ratio of 8.6, that should be equal to 12.5 over what the original should have been, which would be 6.25, which would be equal to 13.8, which is this segment. And now remember that 2 is a scale factor. It's not that what this should be. I'll open up the scratch pad really quick, and I'll go 13.8. I'm going to divide it by 2 and get 6.9. So this should be 6.9. And let me get out of the scratch pad. And so this should be 6.9, and it should all be equal to the scale factor, which is your scale factor. So 17.2 and 8.6, if we get back in here, 17.2 divided by 8.6 is equal to 2. 12.5 divided by 6.25 is equal to 2. 13.8 divided by 6.9 is equal to 2, and that's our scale factor. This is always going to be the original. This is always going to be the image. And that's going to give us basically a ratio of 2 to 1. And we're going to use this idea of a dilation when we get into triangles, especially right triangles. And we're going to deal with trigonometry, because that deals with basically dilated right triangles. Now, just really quickly, let me delete everything out of here. Delete everything, yes. I'm going to draw a shape. I'm going to draw a rectangle just really quickly. Here's a rectangle. Exit out of that. I'm going to put a point. I'm going to put the point right here. That's my center of dilation. Now I'm going to dilate this. Menu, transformations, 5. I know I have to hit the shape, then the center, and then I have to type in a number. If I go 1.25, I'm going to get this. Now, if I want to do it again, I have to click on the shape, and if I click on the point, and then I got to click on the number. If I go 0.5, hold on, got to redo this. It's worth it, trust me. Let's draw the shape. 5. Draw a rectangle. Draw a point. 4, 1. Here's a point. Now, I want to do a dilation. So I'm going to hit Menu, Transformation, 5. There's the rectangle. There's the point. And then I'm going to move over here and go 1.25. And so I get a bigger triangle. Now I'm going to escape out of that again, and I'm going to do another dilation, 8, 5. Going to go to the original, and now I want to make it smaller. So in order to make it smaller, I'm going to say I want it half as big. Nope. Let's do this one more time. Rectangle, point, and then I need the number. I'm just going to go 1 divided by 2, and there's our smaller rectangle. This is half the size of this one. This is 1 1/4 size, the size of that one. So you can make as many dilations as you want to. You can even take this shape and dilate this one through that same point and make it a -1, and you dilate it to the opposite side, and you actually flip it around. So you can dilate with a negative number as well. So hopefully you enjoyed the dilations. And we're going, like I said, we're going to use them a lot with trigonometry.